Welcome to Under the Sink Light episode 4. Today we're making carrot and spinach mini muffins. So this is just me shredding baby carrots because I had no other carrots, but I got this part done first. It is going to be 3/4 cups of grated carrots, 2/3 cup frozen chopped spinach, thawed, and then 1/3 cup of frozen peaches, thawed and chopped into little itty bitty pieces because these are going to the baby, but you can leave them a little bit bigger if you prefer. And then I mix them all up, and then I start adding the dry ingredients. Technically, sugar is a wet ingredient, but I digress. So this is just 1/4 cup of brown sugar. You can use light or dark. I had dark on hand, so that's what I used. Alright, and then next we're going to do 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. You can also use whole wheat flour if you prefer, but I just had all-purpose, so that's what I went ahead and used. Also, just really quickly, go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, since this will pretty much be ready to go once you mix it. And my scoops weren't necessarily even. The first one was a little bit over, and then I kind of, roughly leveled out the others. But that was 1/4 cup, and I did it 3 times, so 3/4 cup. And then next is going to be oats. You can use rolled oats or what's called old-fashioned oats. These are quick oats. I like them just because they're chopped up a little finer, especially things that I make for the baby. So that's just going to be 1/2 cup. And then we're going to do, this is me thinking, we're going to do 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And that I tried to get in as even as possible. You don't want to be too inaccurate about leavening. And then it's going to be 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I like to use kosher salt, but if you only have iodized, that's okay too. And then it's going to be 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And that has the little ledge on it, so it gets nice and even on its own. And then locating the cinnamon, we're going to do 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. If you don't like cinnamon that much, feel free to reduce it down to like 1.5 or 1 teaspoons. But I really wanted the cinnamon to kind of cover up the vegetable taste, just because we're trying to sneak more vegetables into regular foods. And he really likes cinnamon, so it worked out. And then I'm going to do the wet ingredients. So that'll start off with 3/4 cup of unsweetened applesauce. And then we're going to do 2 eggs. This one, for whatever reason, wanted to give me a hard time. I thought it was cracked all the way. It wasn't, so just a tiny tap more. And I still ended up getting shell. So I just scooped it out. It took a little bit of applesauce with it, but a negligible amount. And then that second egg had eggshell stuck to it. But then we cracked that one, and that one goes right in as well. No shell that time. And then we're going to do 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. You can reduce this down to 1 if you want, but I like 2. And you'll kind of see me putting things to the side as I go. It's just so I can be more organized. And then it's going to be 2 tablespoons of canola oil or vegetable oil. or if you prefer, you can even use coconut oil, but I don't have any of that, and we aren't sure about allergies yet, so vegetable oil it is. And then I mix up the dry ingredients with the vegetables first, just to break up any like clumps. And I make sure it's mixed up really good, just to kind of almost coat it as if you would dredging it before you put it in a cake so it doesn't sink. That way there's not like any clumps of spinach or anything like that. And then I just add in the wet ingredients, make sure it's mixed thoroughly, and then it's ready to go into the muffin pan. I just use canola oil spray. Just a quick 1 second spray does the trick fine. And then in between batches, I'm just going to scrape down the bowl a little bit so it stays nice and neat. And then these are going to go into the oven for about 19 to 20 minutes, depending on how hot your oven runs. Mine's pretty on par, so it was exactly 19. And then once they cool, you just take them out, and then you can respray for the next batch. And for this second batch, I oversprayed a little bit, so I'm just taking a paper towel and getting most of that spray out, just so it doesn't burn. And then I am going to pour a little bit of water in all of these little empty cups. That way none of the residue from the last batch will burn, or any of the leftover spray, just because it makes the pan getting clean so much more difficult. And this is super easy, and it doesn't affect the baking time at all, really. And there you have it. This batch made 37 muffins, and here's the recipe. Thank you for watching.